Hi, Amy. How are you doing? It's so nice to see you.
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
Can you share with me a little bit about why you initially reached out to me and what was happening for your interest to join the Blood Sugar Collaborative?
So honestly, I was watching you on Instagram for a while. I would always pick up on your feeds about, suggestions of what to do for type 2 diabetes. And then I didn't realize that I was really bad at my way of living, being on medication and having my hysterectomy. And then I just kind of decided to take action and I clicked and got more information and I found you. So, and I appreciate it because it's been a God blessing in disguise for myself. So, yes, it's pretty much how it went.
I love that. Yeah, it's crazy how things kind of lead you where you're meant to be, and I think it really worked out for you because just seeing the wins that you've had throughout the course of the program are pretty amazing. I know that you've already shared some of them with me about your A1c, triglycerides, weight loss. So, what are some of those numerical victories that you've been able to achieve throughout the program?
So throughout the program, just a quick backstory. So I didn't really know I was type 2 diabetic until I had to get my hysterectomy. So had my hysterectomy, my numbers went from an 11, which was crazy. And I had to be put on medication. And the medication was somewhat working, but my diet was not the greatest. Um, so after that, I decided to obviously meet with you, which has been a godsend because honestly, like I've had other resources and they weren't very helpful at all. Um, so for me, the win was learning how to eat properly, even though without having to change my diet or any ways of my eating because everyone eats differently and everybody has a different body and likes to eat different things. I just had to learn through your method the best way to do that, and that was by just eating the foods I like, but eating the combinations correctly. And it helped a lot. Didn't realize that I was somewhat of a bad eater, but not, and my numbers went down to a 7.4 recently, and I lost 10 pounds, which I didn't really think. I honestly, I didn't know that I lost 10 pounds till I went to the doctor. I was like, really? Oh, okay, great. So that really helps. And now I kind of look at food differently, even though I'm still have my cravings here and there, and I do indulge when I need to. But I just kind of am more mindful of what I'm eating so I could keep my blood sugar stable. The goal is to not take medication, but right now I'm still having to do that. So, but with your help, it helped tremendously to see where I am now from where I was before.
I mean, honestly, to see where you started and where you're at now is just amazing. And this is just the beginning for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you have the tools now. So hopefully in the next couple months, as you continue to move forward, I know that you're confident in what you're able to do and how to choose foods and pair them properly and portion them properly. So I'm just excited to see where you continue to go. And if that's a goal of yours, hopefully, that's where you
Yeah.
can get. So that's awesome. And also, it's really cool that you weren't even trying to lose weight necessarily, but it was just a natural byproduct of what you were doing. And so that's really cool. It's really cool to see that. What would you say, and you kind of were touching on this already, are some of your non-numerical victories? You mentioned your relationship to food. What are some other non-numerical victories that you experienced from the program?
Non-numerical. So for me, it was just the knowledge. I'm realizing that no, I can't just have pasta. I have to actually have something with it in order to stabilize my numbers, and that type of stuff. So for me, it was just easier to know like what combinations of food I'm able to eat and not feel guilty for eating that. You know what I mean? So for me, those are my non, numerical victories as far as that goes. So, which has been great.
Yeah, to me as a dietitian, that's one of the biggest ones that I can ever hear because
Hmm.
to no longer have to feel guilt around food, I think is life changing because we live in a world that is constantly telling us that we should feel guilty about every food decision that we make. And I
Yeah.
love that now you know and you realize like you can eat the pasta, but here's a couple tools that you can add instead of taking things away, which I think is really important. Would you say, Amy, that the framework in the Blood Sugar Collaborative helped you to reach some of those goals? What in particular helped?
Definitely meeting with you, like having the check-ins, monthly check-ins helped. Just also going through the phone call, the Zoom calls that you would have weekly. Um, that would definitely help to understand like and listen to everybody else who was on the Zoom calls too, but just to know that like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be eating this, okay? And you were giving good suggestions of what to do in place of it that might be better. So that was definitely like a huge help, obviously, for me to understand. And all the information you always provide is definitely helpful as well, because it's a learning process. It really is. So, but definitely meeting with you, like having the check-ins and the weekly check-ins, and listening to everyone else's calls and things of that nature have been helpful and knowledgeable to know, what's best. So
Good. I love that. Yeah, a lot of people say having like someone to troubleshoot with, then it kind of becomes second nature, and then
yeah,
you see it more consistently and it just drills it into your head, I think. So I'm glad that that really resonated and that you felt supported in that way.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit about how you're still able to enjoy the foods you love while keeping your blood sugars in range?
I'm still like I've never been like that horrible of an eater, so I'm still eating like all the foods I want. I'm just more mindful of my portion control is like the one huge thing, and knowing that I have to make sure to have m all the combinations of food, or just making sure to have, the protein or whatever I'm having on my plate if I'm not hitting all of the needs. But for me, it's been good because sometimes I don't want the sweets. I mean, I definitely will indulge here and there, but then I'm making sure to have something else with it. So it's not just sugar, like, like a protein or something, with it. So, I mean, for me, like that helps me not, and then I'm not really craving as much, but then for me also, um, I feel like it's just easier. It's an easier mindset once you're in the realm of what you taught. It's just what you need to be doing and how you're supposed to be eating. So I feel like I haven't really given up anything, to be honest with you. Just changing, I guess, my routine of eating because I was told personally I have to eat more meals and snacks and stuff, which I'm not used to doing. So, especially at night. So for me, it was more educational to know what else I need to be adding into I guess, into my nutritional palette, um, which has been very helpful because I didn't really realize the combination of foods is really important to keep your sugars down because I might just eat like, I don't know, a bagel. And then I realized, oh, I really can't have that bagel. I can maybe have half the bagel, but I need to just make sure to have a protein with it and maybe some type of vegetable with it. So it's been very helpful to be honest with you. Yeah.
That makes me really happy because you're right. And you said it again, like you're still eating what you enjoy eating. You're right. You're a nutrient dense eater, but those tweaks really added up at the end of the day.
Hmm.
It's like you can still have your bagel, but let's add this little thing here. And just making such a slight change like that where it doesn't feel like you're
Yeah.
changing leaps and bounds and you're cutting out carbs and you can't have a bagel. Like I think that makes it a little more feasible, hopefully. And I mean,
Yeah.
you're proof of that. So love
Yes.
that. Um, Amy, what would you say your life kind of looked like prior to joining the program versus how does it look and feel now after graduating and reaching that A1c of 7.4?
Oh my God, it's to me, honestly, like I was in, not that I was in a bad place, but like I was always tired. I didn't feel well. I wasn't getting enough sleep. The list of can go is long. Um, and I think when I was going through my menopause period, which I still am, my A1c was like, I mean, my numbers were all over the place, like in the two, 300s. And I wasn't understanding why. And then that's where I think I kind of like I was like, I'm just gonna reach out to you. And I'm so happy I did because like honestly, like it was like it was completely like different before. And now that I have it like under control and knowing what I need to do, it is life-changing for me because I'm not tired. I have my energy. I know what I need to be doing and what I should be doing. But before I was like a hot mess because I was having my hot flashes and my tiredness and my moodiness and it just wasn't fun. Um, and until I actually spoke to you and met with you and did your program, so that was very helpful. So yes, it's much better now. Like to me, a complete 360. So I'm very happy that I actually was like pressed, okay, I need to get more information and just took the risk, but it's giving me a lot more rewards for future. So I know you might hear from me soon again, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I love hearing from clients, from past clients. So my door
Yeah.
is always open to you, honestly. I think it's just amazing to see the transformation, not only physically that you are having like better sleep and like just feeling better in your body, but mentally and
Yeah.
emotionally. It just really carries over. And now you have that confidence to know what to do moving forward in any
Yeah.
scenario. What was the most helpful part of the Blood Sugar Collaborative or the most helpful takeaway that you learned?
Let's see. My most helpful, honestly, I keep referring back to your information, but also you have a very vast knowledge of what is best. But not just best like overall, like, like you just follow this method and that's it. It's based upon you do it based upon the individual's like lifestyle, if that makes sense. So for me, that was important because like a dietitian can just tell you like just follow this method and that's it. And I think that's what I was getting from other ones before I met you. So for me, the biggest takeaway is like you gear it towards the person's lifestyle and you try not to change that because you understand like it's so hard to like be on a diet or hear that word or telling you you need to change your habits of the way you're eating when you know you're not really eating horribly and you just don't understand the whole process of being a diabetic. Like it's just, it's not fun. And it's a learning process and it's a continuing learning process. Um, I am so grateful and taking that away. So I'm not gonna try and cry, but like you don't realize how much it helped me because I was in a horrible place before reaching out to you and I was kind of like stuck. I didn't know what to do because like they will give you only so much, but you got to find the right people that are willing to help you. So I appreciate you tremendously, um, that your vast knowledge of what is best, just for myself, but for anybody that you've dealt with, because everybody has different needs and lifestyles and likes different foods and you know and that is very helpful because I didn't feel like I have to change anything about my eating, but just tweak it better to understand how I need to be in like a streamline and not have my huge like 200, 300 spikes, but understand that yes, there might be a little spike, but it's okay as long as you're doing X, Y, and Z. It's very helpful. That's all I have to say. Yeah. So,
Thank you, Amy. That honestly means a lot to me. And you hit the
yeah.
nail on the head because it should really be about those tweaks and it should
Yeah.
be a client-centered approach. You have to meet people where they're at, and like we
Yeah.
have to honor the integrity of what you enjoy eating and of your life. And I think when we do that, then we can really make progress. Then we can start
Yeah.
to see changes. And it doesn't feel like we're going from where we're at to like doing something that's completely unfeasible and unrealistic because those things don't last, you know?
Yeah.
I want this to last for you forever. You know, I want you to have these tools forever.
And honestly, I like seriously, Christine, it's been great. Like I'm so glad I did it. Like and my husband's like, you're crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like because no one realizes like you have to take care of yourself.
My last question is, what would you tell somebody that's considering joining the Blood Sugar Collaborative or they're kind of on the fence about it? They're not sure if they want to join. What would be your advice to them?
My advice is just do it. I mean, I did it. I took the risk, and let me tell you, it was the best thing I've ever done. So, I mean, definitely you can watch her on Instagram and just see all the knowledge yeah, you have, but I would just take the risk and do it. You're gonna feel better in the long run for sure. And I'm glad I did, and I've gotten amazing results, and I'm hoping to continue to keep getting a good results and go down more. Hopefully maybe not be on my medication one day. That would be the goal. But I would just say, take the risk and, I would just do it.
Perfect. Thank you so
I
much,
appreciate it.
Amy.
Have a
And
good
I'll look
night.
forward,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll look
yeah.
forward to your updates.
All right,
You
thanks.
too.
Talk to you. All right, bye.